Kind of hard to explain, but one is just my love of this community. Born and raised here, graduate of Chopticon High School. I left and joined the Air Force and retired as a Chief Master Sergeant. I'd been out and back, but really raised my kids here, built my house here, I have my family here. But it really came down to is that because I was so interested in the county government, is that the commissioner in my district actually came to me because he wasn't quite sure if he was going to run again. So he came and asked me if I wanted to run in his stead. When I tried to explain to him that I was a federal employee, I wasn't sure if I could run. But in the end, it turns out with a whole lot of rules,
You can still
I
run.
could still run. And then when I found out that he was running unopposed, I just couldn't let that happen. I just don't believe that anyone should run unopposed. There's folks out there with the energy and the smarts to be able to do this and be able to serve the people. This is something that I'm really passionate about, and I don't really believe that myself and the other candidate disagree too much on this one. This is something that has to get fixed. And at this particular point in time, if Harris Communications cannot fill those gaps, and we're talking about people's lives here,
Exactly.
then I don't care how much litigation, and I don't care how much it costs. We have got to get this right for our fire and rescue volunteers. The plan that we have for the airport is the right thing to do. We missed an opportunity with the third building. That could have been done a whole lot better with a lot more communication between our county commissioners and our state delegation. That third building, I think, really put us back, even though a lot of folks will disagree. But there's so many opportunities right now with everything that we need to do with public-private partnerships. And what that's going to do is that's going to grow small businesses in this area, and that's going to diversify our
Right. There's
our
a lot of
economy.
activity at the airport.
There's a lot of activity at the airport, but even outside the airport, we've talked about a community center for the kids, and that's something that we could do private public partnership. Same thing with the animal shelter. That's something that we don't have to do all these things alone. There's folks out there that want to help, and there's opportunities there for businesses to grow. So I'm on the planning commission, and we deal a lot with the Lexington Park Developmental District and the plans as well. So we really would like to see a whole lot more affordable housing. Some developers come in and build a whole lot more affordable housing. We understand that they're trying to cater as much as they possibly can to the folks that they're trying to bring into the base. But we still have a need here for affordable housing. There's somewhat of a little revitalization that's happening, and thank goodness for those particular developers that are willing to take that
Right.
that risk. But there's so many other things that really need to come into the park, and hopefully we can lure
What do
some
you
more
What do
people
you
in.
foresee coming into the park that maybe isn't being worked or is in the plans? I know the community center is one of them.
So the community center, of course, we need to hurry up and build that sheriff's station.
Oh yeah, then you have the sheriff's station. Yeah.
So that's something that has finally been awarded and approved, and so we need to go ahead and make that shovel ready. So this is another thing that it could have been communicated a long time ago if the relationship between the county commissioners and the state delegation was where it was should have been all along, is that we knew that this was coming down the pike. And whether or not they gave too much power and too much just authority to DNR is, again, something that could have been worked out and talked about a long time ago. But now here we are with the oyster colonies. We got a lot of folks that are looking out, and they're, at this point, let's just say $1 million homes with their $1 million views. And when it's low tide, they're seeing all these columns. If that's the case, then we need to lower the property taxes, because obviously the properties aren't worth as much as we think they are,
Right.
because with all of this problem. But there's other ways that we can go about in helping these oyster farmers. So there's the sanctuary. So they took away the sanctuary in Brenton Bay.
Right.
We have the small sanctuary in St. Mary's River, which can be expanded. There's a lot of other things that we could be helping out with. So obviously, I think the bus routes need to be expanded. I think we can go with some localized bus routes. But this is another opportunity for a public-private partnership. Here we go. We have folks that have buses that aren't being used during the day, that we can have some kind of route so we can get people to and from work. There's another idea that I have that we could partner with CSM because they have this beautiful campus that's in the middle of Leonardtown.
Right.
But kids and parking is horrendous. And the folks that are trying to go to classes there can't get there. Or if they do get there, they're running around trying to find a parking space. If we could partner with CSM and maybe have a satellite parking area, we can start to create at least that small microcosm. And maybe in the Leonardtown area, we can continue to expand it beyond that.
Sounds like a
Is
good
to
idea.
be able to shuttle those folks back and forth so that they
Right.
can get to class. When it comes down to specific or immediate needs right now, is we have to expand that jail. I understand that the state wanted to push it out for a year,
Right.
but we really should have started it. We really should have just got started. Again, we have that fund balance. We could have started it and then asked for reimbursement because the state was going to kick it in. We need to do what we have to do to take care of ourselves. We can't necessarily rely on the state to come down and help us, as we've seen time and time again where it's unfortunate, but we either didn't have the relationships or we just weren't getting it because we were being overlooked for whatever reason. I was on the impact fee focus group,
Yeah.
and we came up with a good formula, and it's going to go up and down. So the schools cut out the elementary school, which means that the impact fee is going to go down because that's out. But honestly, it's not equitable, and that impact fee should also go away. There's other ways that we can get revenue for our schools, for our parks, and for our roads, other than that impact fee, which is also extremely burdensome, especially on
It can-
young
It could
folks that are,
disqualify somebody.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly
For a
their
house loan.
their property will just go dormant
Right.
if they're not if they're stuck with all these fees that they have to pay. It really hasn't done a whole lot, and now with the schools understanding that their enrollment is down and removing of the elementary school, really would not be a significant hit to the county budget if it was just completely removed. I certainly am looking forward to the election, and I would really appreciate if you would come on out and vote. I would certainly appreciate if you would vote for me, but if not, just vote. That is really important. We have to be able to tell not only our kids, but the entire state at this point that St. Mary's County understands what's going on in this world, in this country, and in this state, and we're going to come out and we're going to vote.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions for our candidates, you can email elections@thebaynet.com. Election day is November 6th. Thank you for watching.